all, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Hush! Right now! Look! Where comes again?
The same figure like the king that's dead.
Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, have we with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage taken to wife. For all, how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Well, not so, my lord, for I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Fire! Fire that should come to this. 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother, might not let the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. And why she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet, let me not think on it.
My lord, I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
The king, your father.
The king, my father?
Seizing your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you. Twice together have these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch been thus encountered.
Give no unproportioned thought his act, and beware of entrance to a quarrel. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and must follow, as the night to day, thou canst then be false to any man. 'Tis it, Ophelia, he hath said to you.
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet?
Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given much private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. But 'tis it between you. Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affections.
It beckons me again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assume some other horrible form, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness?
Is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thy noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Ah, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterous beast, who won to his sinful lust the will of my most seemingly virtuous queen.
That you know aught of me. Swear. Swear. Rest, perturbed spirit.
We swear.
We swear.
Head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound that it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, and to the last bit of their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king.
And together, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that revealed lies within our remedy.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres.
Both your majesties, might by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more to command than to entreaty.
We both obey and give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our services freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Well, thank you, gentle Guildenstern and Rosencrantz.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, why time is time, we're nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy!
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well, you're a fishmonger. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by our sleep we mean to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the pangs of despised love, the law?
I, ladies most dejected and wretched, that sucked the honey from his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of lone youth blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me.
Since love, our hearts and marriage did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us count over, our love be done. But woe is me, you've been so sick of late, so far from cheer, from your former state.
Thoughts black, hands out, drugs fit and time agreeing, Confederate season else, no creature seen. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, thy natural magic in dire property, on wholesome life usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzaga. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of the Duke's wife.
The king rises.
What? Frightened with false fire?
How fares my lord?
Lights! Lights! Awake! Awake!
Give over the play.
Stand and pause where I shall first begin. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? Oh, no. You see, that could not be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, my ambition, my queen. May one be pardoned and retain thy offense?
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help!
What help?
Help! What hast thou done?
I don't know. Is it the king?
How now, Hamlet? Where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Oh, not where he eats, but where he is eaten. Even now, a certain convocation of worms are at him. You see, we fat all creatures to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar are but two dishes to one table.
Alas, alas.
You also, a man may fish with a worm that hath fed of a king, and then eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing at all. But to tell you how a king might go through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see.
There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. For Bonnie, sweet Robin, is all my joy.
Here lays water. Good. Here stands man. Good. If the man comes to this water and drowns himself, it is willy-nilly. Mark you that. But if the water comes to this man and drowns him, he's not guilty of his own death. Therefore, he who is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life. But is this law? Aye, Mary, coroner's inquest law. If this had not been a gentlewoman,
Nay, I know not.
a pestilence on him for a mad rogue, he poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This.
Even that.
Let me see. Alas, for Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest and most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And with such main rights, which was of some estate, this stuff betokened, the course they followed did with desperate hand foredue its own life. Couch me a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes. I'm very noble, mark. What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the King.
The devil take thy soul!
Oh, now praise not well. I prithee take thy fingers from my throat, for I have something in me dangerous which let thy wisest fear. Oh, love thy hand.
Love him
Oh, fight with him upon the same until my eyelids no longer wag.
Come, begin. And you, the judge, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
What?
No!
Judge me.
A hit! A very palpable hit!
Well, again!
Stand!
Nothing, neither way.
I'll pat you now!
Come again!
Oh, look to the queen! Oh, they bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is it, Laertes? By some of my own treachery, Austria.
Oh,
I am justly killed by mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. Oh, sweet Hamlet, the drink. Oh, the drink. I am poisoned. Oh.
Villainy.
The king is to blame. Ah,
The point envenomed, of envenomed to thy work. murderous, incestuous damn pain. Bring off his coat.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince.
The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The eyes are senseless, the ears are senseless that should give us hearing. To tell him that his commandment has been fulfilled.
So shall you hear of carnal, bloody and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of deaths put on by cunning. All this can I truly deliver.
Let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience.
Let the same be presently performed, even while men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on plots and errors happen.
Let 4 captains bear Hamlet, like a soldier to the stage. For he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passage, the soldier's music and the rites of war speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go, bid the soldiers shoot.